Ryan Blaney wins on the final restart without a fully fastened window net and isn't penalized, but Scott Miller says that they felt Blaney had the window latched because he has both hands on the wheel and the window net was up. Spot on, spot off, Brett.
Okay, I'm a spotter, and I know that he can't put his window net back up. Jeff's a driver. He said on here earlier, he knows he can't put his window net back up. When you watch the beginning of this race, the majority of time, one of the biggest, strongest guys on the team is the guy who is up there fastening this window net. So there's no way in hell that they actually thought that window net was up. I think what they should – first of all, Ryan Blaney's an idiot for dropping his window net. Sorry, race ain't over. What I hear a pilot say, when I talk to good pilots, and Jeff's been around a lot of good pilots, they're responsible for that airplane from the time it moves until it parks back at the next gate. So even though they're already on the ground, the reason they ask you to keep your seatbelt fastened is something might happen. So he drops his window net before start finish. That's his dumbass fault. He screwed that up. But him thinking the race was over, it being an all-star race, NASCAR should have said if they're going to let him stay in that position, which they did, they didn't black flag him. If they're going to let him stay at the point, they should have brought him in and they should have let him fix it and then give him his spot back. Otherwise, you got a black flag. The number one thing I want for my 9-year-old kid playing baseball is the umpires to keep the game safe. That's the officials' jobs. I don't think that was the case yesterday. I'm huge spot off for this.
I'm okay with bringing him down pit road, but I don't think you bring him down and let him fix it. That's his mistake. You said it. He was my leading candidate for what an idiot this week because he didn't know the rules. The first rule about my job is know the damn rules, and you got to know the rules. That was the yellow flag you saw, not the checkered flag. I noticed that, I'm full disclosure, I didn't know that was the deal. But when I saw that was the yellow flag and not the yellow and the checker together, I said, this thing ain't over, And he made that mistake. And like you said, we know that he could not properly fasten his window net. What he did was pulled it out of the backside.
He faked it.
When anybody doesn't know, he had it fully connected and was trying to latch it, couldn't get it. So what he did was pulled it out of the backside to take all the tension off it so he could latch it with the front and make it appear that it was latched. And he did a good job of it because
it was latched.
It was latched. It just wasn't properly fastened because the back wasn't in there. I'm okay with if you want to bring him down and check it, but when you get down there and it's not right, sorry, you're black flag. You made that mistake. You can't let him fix it just because you threw a bogus caution. But I don't.
You also can't knowingly let him stay out there at 190 miles an hour, knowing the thing ain't up.
No, listen. This deal was very convoluted right from the beginning because we rode around for a long time for a caution that wasn't even supposed to be a caution while he's trying to get the window net up. And the second that he got it latched, we got the latest one to go we got all night. It was off of turn 4. Okay, one to go at the line this time. So they knew that they had screwed this up, I feel like, and they kind of knew that it seemed to me like they were giving him ample opportunity to get that thing back up there. And then as soon as he did, we were rushing one to go. And we get one to go where every week?
Three.
In middle of 1 and 2,
latest 3.
It's usually that they're usually releasing the lucky dog or wave arounds whoever off of turn 2, and it's one to go down about. It's coming. They close pit road. It's coming. And this time it was I want to go right here, and we were in the 4. And so I was like, oh shit, we're going one to go. Our choose number is this and whatever. But there was some things going on there that were out of the ordinary for what was normal for that situation.
I mean, as much as it pains me to say that these two guys are right, they're pretty spot on. What scares me about it is we just witnessed Ross Chastain basically get all the way up
flying through the air.
Yeah, with his driver's window net close to the ground. And I know, I couldn't get a street stock window net up by myself. There's no way this thing. And the glow-in-the-dark gloves that Ryan would wear, when you look at that TV screen, what's the first thing that you see?
Oh, yeah.
The gloves. I love it because you can see the hands. That's one of my favorite things about when they show them head-on shots. You can see when the guy's hands, did he hook him? Well, he turned into him. But, it wasn't latched, and it needs to be latched.
It was latched. It just wasn't.
It wasn't done properly.
Properly.
After seeing Ross get up like that, and there could have been another wreck, man, and I worry about a guy safety like that. But you need to know the rules, first of all. I saw the yellow, and it said in there, race cannot finish under yellow, and that happened, and you got to know.
I clearly didn't like the call, But a couple of things. It's more complicated than that for me because I told you I was watching the race in the bar. I just told the guys at the bar he's not getting it latched. And when I saw Scott say he had both hands on the wheel warming the tires up, I thought the same exact damn thing. Like when I saw him down the back straightaway, both hands on, I went, how in the hell did he get that thing latched? Now I'm watching it, not a big screen TV. It's not, you know what I mean? I don't have a great view, and I could see the Velcro strap flapping, which that is on there. Just you have to put that on so you can get the thing tight. They strap that on, then Velcro it, and I'm like, how in the hell did he get it up there? Like I didn't know how he got it, and so my brain went to somehow he got it latched. But again, I don't have a big screen TV. I'm not able to see it, but in my brain, I'm thinking somehow he got it latched. And NASCAR, I don't know what cameras they had, how tight they could get. I don't know that. I never saw a shot from where I was sitting that showed it wasn't latched. I mean, I knew it was latched, but that it wasn't until driving to the airport, I'm like, he must have not gotten the back in there. Like he had enough, or someone told him. By the way, that was $1 million latch of a window net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So from a safety side of things, I don't like that if they knew it wasn't latched, I don't like that because you either are going to do it or you're not. The bad call to call the caution put them in a position where they did not want to freaking
take it from him. And that
put them in a situation. Denny Hamlin rightfully was pissed. One wrong, two wrongs don't make the first one. If you do something wrong, you do it again wrong. It doesn't fix the first one.
The drivers, and I've worked for drivers that their seatbelts, for whatever reason, would come unlatched during a race. And they would come over the radio and say, my seatbelt just come unlatched. And I'm like, I'm thinking, you got to pit, like right now. And these guys aren't normal. They'd keep running. They'd run 2, 3 more laps, and finally the crew chief would be like, you're pitting this lap. The driver is never going to give up because of that. Like that,
you can't put it in their hands.
No,
you have to protect them from themselves.
You have to be the godfather in that situation and take care of your guys.
Well, Jeff, you alluded to this earlier, but Denny Hamlin had a very strong opinion about this and says they should have black flagged Blaney, and says that is not a judgment call. You got to play by the rules. Where NASCAR really got away with one is we nearly crashed off turn 2. So when I send them headfirst into traffic and the window net's down, then they got a lawsuit on their hands. What do you guys think about that, Jeff?
Well, I listen. I don't know about all the lawsuit and all that. I don't know about all that, but I do believe that what Denny is saying is, at least partially correct, because here you are with a guy. You're watching him. He has his window net down. You know he can't get it latched, and you're like, it's my spot. It's a safety issue. You don't have a choice. I see where he's coming from. I don't disagree with Denny at all. Denny will go a little further than I would on the way he says things, but the essence of what he's saying is he's not wrong. I mean, he's not wrong in saying, hey, we're either going to call it for safety or we're not. And he's not wrong for saying it.
TJ, what do you think?
This another painful. I agree with Denny as well. Denny's right again.
Told you.
He hit the he hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, not gonna let somebody else run around there with a window net that could be down.
It wouldn't happen on the 5th lap of the race.
No.
So it shouldn't happen on the last.
It doesn't matter what lap it's on. If it's not correctly put up, it's not correctly put up.
I think that a NASCAR official should have been in their pit box, and I think NASCAR should have said, for safety reasons, Ryan Blaney has to pit. And if we find that his window net is secure, he can maintain his position as a leader. If it is not, we're going to have to fix it, and he's going to have to start in the back. It's a hard thing to do because you put him in that position to start with.
I'd have been okay with that. But I think I agree with you. You can't let them fix it.
You can't let them fix it. No, absolutely not.
But it wouldn't be wrong to say, "Hey, prove me you got it fixed."
Yeah. I think that would have been the best case scenario of come down here and we see it all the time, short track racing especially. The guy in front of me is leaking. Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna bring him in here and check if he's leaking. If he's leaking, he's got to stay on pit road and fix it. If he's not leaking, you go back out there, you get your spot back. I don't know what the rule is. I got to look up and see the wording of the rule, but like Is the window net? I mean, we rode around there for, I don't know, 4 or 5 laps while he was trying to get it up. Like, is that should he be black flagged under
That's
caution?
8 or 9 minutes, by the way.
Yeah, and that's like these. It has to be latched at all times on a racetrack, right? So even under caution, I would think it should have been. Listen, your window net's down. Post to 12 right now.
Your side window's out.
The window
post
net's down. You know,
Yeah.
the first as soon as he drops it, it should be.
It happens once
you know,
or twice a year, most of the time, and every time that person gets brought to pit
Yeah,
road.
and it should be immediately as soon as you see it. Not like, okay, right before we go green. You know, it was almost like they were waiting to see if he could get it latched before we go back green, and if we couldn't, then
were
they were going to
praying
black
he
flag
could
him.
get it.
Remember,
100%.
they would holler at us to tell our drivers to keep your windows nets up until you get to pit road.
We've got exciting news. OfferPad wants to buy your home. Go to OfferPad.com right now and tell them all about it. You'll receive a cash offer within 24 hours.